this thing of building community, friendships, to build solid friendships in this life, it is no easy feat. And in my pursuit of community, your girl has been shown what I like to call shege. They have dealt with me. Hi, beautiful people. I said hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome. If you're new here, it's your girl Mon E of Divorced from Damage, DFD, and we are just healing out loud together. And so I realized it's been like a couple of years since I've done anything on my London Girl in the USA series. And so I thought this would be the appropriate time to catch you up on life since becoming a citizen. So I am now officially a US citizen. It's been 5 years since I relocated from London to the USA. I came here when I was, some months pregnant to join my husband who's out here. And it's been a journey. I am living in the Midwest. So I'll be honest in saying that, like, I've always known I would end up in the US. Like, there's just been something. I feel like God, spoke to me long ago about this. I've always known that I would end up in the US. But, when you think God's plans and our plans are always just, they're so different. Because me, okay, what about LA, baby, or is San Diego, the West Coast, or even Texas, or where my family is, or I was there thinking it would be one of them touristic type states where everything is popping, everything is happening. No, the Lord said Midwest. Midwest. I said, But I'm here, and this is why I wanted to give you an update. I know you like gist. You guys, you love gist, don't you? I'm sure from the title you clicked into it because I wanted to talk to you all about, just what's been going on and this thing of building community. Friendships. To build solid friendships in this life, it is no easy feat. And in my pursuit of community, your girl has been shown what I like to call shege. They have dealt with me. I have been dealt with. But no, in all seriousness, I'm going to insert a few quick clips so you can see me officially becoming a citizen, because it was such a special day. It was a real journey up until that point. If I'm completely honest with you, there have been many times on this journey where I have wanted to run back to what I'm familiar with, back to my community. As you guys know, I have 2 boys, and so I had them back to back during the pandemic, no family around. Everything I planned and I thought it would be, I thought, would be flexible with travel. Obviously no one would have anticipated a pandemic. And so I thought I would be able to go back and forth as much as I want. I thought that my loved ones would be able to come and stay as frequently as they wanted to. So in my mind, I had this picture of how things were going to go, and it did not go to plan at all. I remember the day I found out that my mum went to the airport when my second son was about to be born and she wasn't let on to the flight. I literally locked myself in the bathroom. I was gonna be given birth in a week or 2. I just locked myself in the bathroom and stayed there for the whole day. I was devastated. Because at that time I literally had no one. I was scheduled in for another C-section. I didn't have anyone that I could rely on. I had a son who was 18 months at the time. I was like, what are we thinking? What are we going to do? I literally just wanted to run back to London. And so there were many times along this journey where I was like, I didn't think I would make it to this point. So when it hit 5 years and I officially became a citizen, that day was a day of celebration. It just, I felt triumphant because it's like I stuck this out. I know I'm meant to be here. I remained obedient to the Lord, and this is happening because my destiny is connected to this place. What the Lord wants me to do is connected to me being here. And so there's been so many things that have been thrown at me to prevent me from being here. But God, he gets all the honor, all the glory, all the victory. So yeah, watch the footage. This is me becoming a citizen. From sea to shining sea, oh, beautiful forever.
And that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation, or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations.
So, yeah, like that was the footage. That was the moment. We had an oath ceremony. It was beautiful. And yeah, as I said, I give all the glory for this time. But I want to go back a little bit because I mentioned something about this thing called building community. Friendship. So I will say this. One of the hardest things about relocating is finding your community, finding your people. If you've been somewhere for like your whole life and you've got family there that you've grown up with, and you've got people that you went to school with, a lot of our friendships come from school, from our church, from our local communities. Like, I had quality friendships that has spanned decades, and these are people who have walked with me intimately. These are people I consider family, and shout out to them because they have not allowed the distance at all to affect or impact our relationships. They are so intentional. They check up on me. I feel like their presence, their love, their support always, and that has remained consistent. But as you all know, it is really, especially when you have children, I started to feel really guilty that the life that my parents provided to me growing up, I wasn't able to do the same for my children. We were obviously isolated during the pandemic. No one was going anywhere anyway. So that was, the difficult thing. I moved here pregnant a month to give him, I gave birth. My first son was born in February 2020, pandemic, everything shut down March 2020. So it's not like for the first couple of years of me being here, like anything was happening anyway. But at a certain point, things started to open up, and it's like, wow, there's really not people to do life with. And so I plunged myself in at the deep end in a bid to build community, and I got burnt. And I know you guys like gist. I really want to be able to share all the details with you. And I distinctly remember when I made the decision that I was going to be more intentional, and I just wish I was wise enough to pray about it, because the set of friendships that I have in the UK, I was very intentional about fasting and praying for friends. I remember there was a period in my life where I have had a lot of male friendships. You see, guys, they don't have problem. They don't have stress. They don't hold grudges. Am I making generalizations, or is it just me? But guys just seem very easy. I'm not going to say they don't gossip, because me, I know otherwise. They like gist too, but they're just easygoing, very easygoing. So there was a period of time where I had so many male friendships, and then I started to long for like sisterhood. There's just things that you can't really talk to a guy about, especially a guy that like you're not my boyfriend, you're not my, like, why would I be sharing this type of detail with you? There's still boundaries, there's still guarding your heart and all the rest of it. And so I was very intentional about fasting and praying. There was a period of time in my life where I fasted and prayed very early in my Christian walk for like just sisters that I could do life with, and God answered those prayers in such a mighty way. My girls, oh my God, they are my sisters. They are like blood to me. Like, I love them so much. And I share that to say, I wish I was as intentional when I got here about praying for the same. I think I was naive. I thought it would be easy. Like, this place is huge. I thought, it would just happen. And so I wasn't intentional. But I distinctly remember having to have some dental surgery done. And my youngest son at the time was like 3 months old. My oldest son was like about to be 2, just under 2. So I have 2 under 2. I need to do dental surgery and they need someone to be with me in order to basically discharge me. I can't drive or anything. And my husband was like, okay, he can come, but then it's going to mean that he's there with 2 under 2, our toddler and our newborn. It just wasn't practical. Like, they would have to be waiting in the waiting area and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, who can I ask? And it was really sad. I realized I didn't have anyone to ask. And I remember being so overcome with sorrow when I realized there's actually, like, if there was an emergency, there's actually really, like, who am I going to call? And bless the sister that I reached out to, that we weren't necessarily close, but I reached out to her and she dropped what she was doing and she took me. I will never forget that. Thank you so much if you're watching this. And so I plunged myself into the deep end after that, and I was like, right, let's get out there. Let's get out there. Let's make some friends. And I just threw myself at the deep end. And I share all of that to say that I got burnt. I think one thing that I've become so mindful of is the way in which the enemy can use our weaknesses, our wounds, these low moments to, like, really take us off guard, take us off post, and really do a number on us. The Bible says that he walks around like a lion. He prowls, seeking who to devour. He's always scheming. Always scheming. And so there are times where we lose focus, we lose our discipline, we aren't watchful, and those are opportune times for the enemy to just attack. And if not for the grace of God, I would be back in London gisting you all, because the situations that occurred were enough to make me say, do you know what, Lord? Forget this place. Babes, let's go and make this thing work in London. Me, I can't do this. I can't do this US life. And my assignment, I'm 100% convicted that my assignment is attached to this place. And so now the level of attack and the strategic ways in which the enemy has tried to take me out of this place, I see it now that I'm on the other side, going through it though. And so I was off guard, and I dove into this trying to make friends thing. And it got me thinking about a scripture in Proverbs 18 verse 24. And the first part of it, Proverbs 18:24, is Solomon. And the King James Version says, a man who has friends must himself be friendly. That's the first part of it. A man who has friends must himself be friendly. And I was reflecting on this and meditating on this. And I saw another version, the Amplified Version, says, the man of too many friends, chosen indiscriminately, will be broken in pieces and come to ruin. Wow. It says, the man of too many friends, chosen indiscriminately, let's underline that word, will be broken into pieces and come to ruins. And I looked up indiscriminately and I spent some time on that. And it means when you do not show careful choice or planning, usually with like harmful effects, you're doing it carelessly, you're doing it without exercising discernment, you're lacking in judgment and selectivity. And if there's anything that I would use to describe what I did, it's exactly that. It was picking people indiscriminately. I just wanted companionship. I just wanted company. And I didn't take the time to really observe and test character. And when I did, there were things that I started to see that did not make sense. Women, we have to do better. We have to do better. This whole mean girl, cliquish, it's just not becoming. It's not godly. It is not godly. It is incredibly hurtful. And the reason why I've taken my time to even do this video is because every time the memory has come up, the Lord has shown me it's an opportunity to forgive. Because this one, it touched me. I'm not gonna lie. It actually, there's not, I have pretty thick skin, yeah, but I'm the type of person who loves very, very hard and very, very deep, and sometimes quite quickly. And so because of some of their initial gestures to welcome me in, I was off guard. Oh, wonderful. They did this for me? Oh, wow. And I was so appreciative that I didn't take enough time to test character. I didn't take enough time to observe behaviors. And I got burnt. And I won't specify the location or the place. Actually, I'm going to. Some of this actually happened within a church. And I think that's the other reason why I was not as guarded, is because I was like, oh, I'm in church. Surely. And then also because the church had many people that were of similar background to me. So of Nigerian descent, etc. And so it's almost as if I had prescribed in my mind what my community was going to look like. And I was even discriminating in the sense that my expectation was like, they must be like the same as me. They must be the same background, similar. Like I had prescribed in my mind what my community was going to look like. And so immediately, guard is down. And I made some careless decisions. And as I said, I got burnt. And then I got to a place of, I'm just going to do this thing by myself. After that, I was like, you see me? This friendship thing, this America, this friendship thing, let me just mind my business, enjoy my family, stay back. And so I went into a place of like isolation. Like I'm not open. I don't want to hear anything. Friendship, what? I have my friends in London. My friends are in London. I don't need any more friends. I'm not open. I'm not accepting applications. And so I just did a complete, I'm like, nope, I tried it. Listen, whatever you guys are offering out here, I'm good. I am good. And so I decided that I wasn't open to building friendships. And so me and my husband, we just did our own thing. We're best friends. We have our boys, and I went into a place of isolation. And, I'm sharing this because in this season, I've come across so many videos talking about friendship. There's so many areas in which we fall short. And there's so many areas in which we just miss the mark, and we miss opportunities to reflect Christ's love. And when I say this not speaking to you all, but really reflecting on my own actions, and in my dealings and in the way I've handled situations. There's so much I've learned from some of these experiences, and so many things that I would have done differently. But after accepting that I was just going to be in isolation and do things by myself, secretly miserable, but just acting from a place of hurt. Eventually, the Lord started to really minister to me about what he requires of me. He started to show me his standards through his word, and the beautiful ways in which we are able to experience deep, meaningful connections through his design, in that we weren't created to do life alone. Even when we look at the richness of God's design for marriage, Like one of the greatest ways we can walk intimately with someone as a reflection of his relationship with us. We just see just the beauty in God's design and how he's created us to walk alongside one another. And so he really started to address that within me, and address all the ways in which I have been controlling the narrative, prescribing what my life was going to be like and who I was going to walk with. And I had to get to a point where I surrendered complete control to him and then told him, you know, my desire for intimacy and my desire for sisterhood and people to be able to do life with. And I had to take those things to him. And God has been gracious. He's been gracious in raising up some really special people that I can start to do life with. And it's come in unexpected ways, in unexpected packages. And then I'm finding just so much that we have in common, how like-minded we are, how much God is just a divine architect. He's the master architect. It's not what I could have orchestrated. Never. But it just makes so much sense. And he started to show me people I would be in covenant relationship with, and the ways in which he's brought our paths to cross has been just so magical. And so it's just been only what God can do. And so I just wanted to take the time to encourage you. If you, like me, find yourself trying to establish community in a new place, or if you're in a season of transition where some friendships have come to an end, or like, for example, you're a new believer and so you are having to build like a new circle of company, I just want to encourage you and say, even the small details of our lives, God really cares about. Like the small details, he cares about those too. And so don't think that it's an area of your life that he doesn't care about, that you can't take to him. Like, take it to him. Speak to God about the things that matter to you. And allow him to minister, allow him to take control. And then I wanted to encourage you that when God does bring people to you, don't enter those relationships thinking about how you're going to be wounded. Trust the Lord that brings the people to you. Trust his plans, trust his intentions. Yes, it's wise to guard your heart, for out of it flows the springs of life. I'm not saying just plunge yourself in at the deep end, but you don't have to wear your wounds as like this badge of honor. And you don't have to bleed on other people. Enjoy getting to know new people. Yeah. So my stories are always everywhere, but hopefully you were able to take something from it. I'm going to end by reading something I saw. I was reading a commentary on this Proverbs 18 that I shared earlier. It's a Charles Spurgeon commentary, and it's just a really short but profound piece about the end of that scripture, which speaks about the friend that sticks closer than a brother. And he says, "He who would be happy here must have friends, and he who would be happy hereafter must above all things find a friend in the world to come in the person of God, the Father of his people." Until next time, beautiful people, let's continue to heal together. I look forward to speaking to you again. Take care. Bye.